Raise your hand if you've ever rehearsed a sentence in your head for 10 minutes before saying it out loud. Yeah, same. You played it 3 different ways. You worried about the tone, and by the time you finally said it, it came out flat anyway. That's not a personality problem, that's a confidence problem. And here's the truth. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's not a personality trait some people get and others don't. Most people think confidence comes first, then action follows. But it's actually the other way around. Think about the most confident person you know. Not the loudest person, the most confident one. Chances are they didn't start that way. They just did the thing enough times that the fear stopped mattering. Confidence is a byproduct of repetition, not a personality trait you're missing. So why does it feel so hard? Because your brain is wired to protect you from anything that feels like social risk. Speaking up in a meeting, texting first, walking into a room where you don't know anyone. Your brain treats all of that like danger, the same circuitry that used to keep you away from actual predators. It's not broken. It's just outdated. It doesn't know the difference between a lion and an awkward silence. So every time you hesitate, your brain isn't being honest with you. It's being cautious, overly cautious. And the more you listen to that caution, the stronger it gets. That's the trap. You avoid the uncomfortable thing, you feel relief, and your brain files that away as proof the thing was actually dangerous. Next time, the hesitation is even stronger. It's a loop, and most people spend years stuck in it without realizing it's a loop at all. Here's the part nobody tells you. You don't break the loop by feeling ready. You break it by going first and feeling ready after. That's the whole reframe. Confidence doesn't come before the action. It comes from the action. You don't wait until you feel confident to raise your hand. You raise your hand, and the confidence shows up 2 seconds later because you survived it. Let's make this specific. There's a simple framework for building confidence on purpose instead of waiting for it to show up. 3 parts: exposure, evidence, expansion. Exposure means putting yourself in the situation that makes you nervous on purpose, in small doses. Not the biggest version of the fear, the smallest version you can find. If public speaking terrifies you, you don't start with a keynote. You start by answering one question out loud in a small group. If texting someone first feels impossible, you don't start with your crush. You start with a low-stakes friend. Small reps. Repeat it often. That's exposure. Evidence is what you collect after each rep. Your brain needs proof, not pep talks. Every time you do the small scary thing and it goes fine, or even if it goes badly and you survive it anyway, that's evidence. Write it down if you have to. Your brain is keeping score whether you track it or not, so you might as well track it on purpose. 10 reps of surviving the awkward moment builds more real confidence than 10 hours of motivational content ever will. Expansion is what happens next. Once the small version stops feeling scary, you make it slightly bigger. One question in a group becomes one comment in a bigger group. Texting a friend first becomes texting someone you're less sure about. You're not leaping to the hardest version of the fear. You're climbing one step at a time, using the evidence from the last step to fund the next one. Exposure, evidence, expansion. That's it. No trick, no script, no personality transplant. Just proof. Collected on purpose, one small rep at a time. Now here's where most people mess this up. They think confidence means the fear goes away. It doesn't. Confident people still feel nervous. They still get that stomach drop before speaking up. The difference is they've done it enough times to know the feeling is not a stop sign. It's just a feeling. It shows up, it's uncomfortable, and it passes. Waiting for the fear to disappear before you act is like waiting for the water to feel warm before you get in the pool. It doesn't work that way. You get in, and then it feels warm. There's also this idea that confidence means never being wrong, never looking silly, never getting it wrong in front of people. Actually, the opposite is true. The people who look the most confident are usually the ones who've embarrassed themselves the most and just kept going anyway. They've built up so much evidence that one awkward moment doesn't threaten anything. It's just Tuesday. Meanwhile, the people who look the least confident are often the ones who've never let themselves fail in public because they've never let themselves try in public. Protecting your ego from every small risk doesn't build confidence. It starves it. So if you've been waiting to feel ready before you speak up, before you introduce yourself, before you raise your hand, here's the actual order of operations. Act uncomfortable. Collect the evidence. Feel confident after, not before, after. One more thing worth naming. Comparison kills more confidence than actual failure does. You can survive being awkward in front of people. What's harder to survive is watching someone else do the thing effortlessly and deciding that means you're behind. But you're not watching their first rep, you're watching their 1,000th. Every confident person you admire has a version of themselves from years ago who was exactly where you are right now, overthinking a text message. They just didn't stop at rep 1. So here's what this actually looks like this week. Pick one small thing that makes you a little nervous. Not the biggest version, the smallest one you can find. Say the thing, send the text, ask the question. Do it once, then notice what happens. You survived it. Write that down if it helps. That's your evidence. Tomorrow, find a slightly bigger version and do it again. You're not trying to become a different person. You're not trying to become the loudest one in the room or the person who never gets nervous. You're just trying to become someone with more evidence than fear. That's the whole game. Confidence isn't a personality. It's a stack of small moments where you went first and it turned out fine. And once you understand that, something shifts. You stop waiting for permission to feel ready. You stop treating hesitation as truth. You start treating it as noise, old wiring doing its job a little too well, and you start collecting proof instead of collecting reasons to wait. That's the version of you this builds. Not someone who's never nervous, someone who acts anyway and lets the confidence catch up. You didn't need to become someone else. You just needed the reps, and now you know how to get them. That's the move. Now go.